Sonos just released a new version of the Sonos Arc soundbar with the brand new Sonos Arc Ultra. And also, there's an updated Sub 4 to go along with it. Now, I actually purchased an Arc myself a couple of years ago. I really love it. I use it as my daily home theater system for my basement. I've actually purchased quite a bit of Sonos products. I'm a Sonos fan, and so I do have some bias love towards them. But of course, in these reviews, I try to push all of that aside. When I first heard about the new Sonos Arc Ultra, I really did think to myself, meh, probably just a minor update and a slight design change. I'm very happy with my current Arc. I'm gonna pass, it's not for me. Well, Sonos did reach out to me and see if I wanted to test the new Arc Ultra and Sub 4, and I'm actually really glad I did because I can confidently say that the Sonos Arc Ultra is quite a bit more than just a minor upgrade. It's better in nearly every way. So right out of the gate here, I just want to stress that, yeah, I think the Ultra is better than the original Arc in pretty much most ways, and it's a very noticeable difference in audio quality. I'm honestly shocked at just how good this soundbar is just by itself. And the original Arc was too, but I definitely wanted to pair it with my sub. Here, no sub required, honestly, especially if you're in a small space. So here's a very quick sample of some audio. I'm gonna make it really quick because I don't want copyrights being hit here. And it's just going to probably not do it any justice, but if you have some headphones with good low end, you can maybe get a very small idea of what I'm talking about, hopefully.
Too much and it's away my nights, but it's hard when it isn't to let yourself slide.
If you're in a small apartment or small space in general, as I mentioned, where you want something with good sound and low end, but you don't want your whole house shaking, then just getting the Ultra by itself is going to be more than enough. And I say small space, but honestly, every one of my spaces, our basement's pretty decently sized. I think it's just fine. It gets plenty loud, has some fantastic low end, and the sound quality is just unreal. So let's go through some of the insides of the soundbar because there is some insane new groundbreaking tech and engineering in here, at least according to Sonos. I didn't take it apart, but there's an all new acoustic architecture that has 14 drivers, which includes a sound motion woofer and waveguides to help fill every inch of your room with good quality sound. This is also one of the first, or at least definitely the first soundbar that I've ever tested at least, that has 9.1.4 spatial audio experience with Dolby Atmos. And it's just insane. I'm going to say that a lot. That a center-facing soundbar, this being the only source of audio in the center of your TV basically, can produce sound that feels like it's just going all around you. And I know it's not one of the first to have this type of Dolby Atmos, but this 9.1.4 spatial audio is no joke. So there's a lot of stuff happening on the inside, and I even had a chat with Sonos product manager for this soundbar, and he walked me through a ton of the intricacies that went into all of this, and I would be lying if I said I understood like half of the things he told me, but I'm taking his word for it, and so far this soundbar is definitely living up to that hype. Also, just a few changes to the outside, mostly that there's this new little like strip on the back of the soundbar. This bar here, no pun intended, it holds all of your touch controls. So you have like play, pause, and skip, and the voice assistant, and you can even adjust the volume up and down by tapping either the plus or minus or sliding your finger back and forth. I quite like doing that more. Compared to the standard Arc, you can see here that the Arc Ultra is actually a little bit longer than the previous model, but it is shorter, like lower profile. So the way I have it set up at my studio here, this TV has a lower profile too. The base is low, but before I would kind of get the like parts of the TV cut off just a little bit from the original Arc. And with this lower profile version where it's a little bit slimmer here, it's way better in like not cutting off the TV. The port situation on the back is rather minimal. You have HDMI for eARC, you have the power on the other side, and then in the middle is a slider to turn on and off the microphone for voice assistant, which by the way runs Amazon's Alexa or Sonos voice control. And then you have Ethernet and a Bluetooth pair button, and that's really it. Setting up the Arc Ultra, just as easy as all of the other Sonos products. I don't think we really need to go through it. You can use the app, it pairs very quickly, and then you can use TruePlay to fine-tune the sound for your room specifically. It actually uses the microphones on the Arc Ultra to measure the room, and then you have this quick tune option that can be done on both iOS and Android devices. There are also new levels of speech enhancement available inside of the app for you to fine-tune and adjust the audio to make sure that you can hear the dialogue better than ever before. One of the best parts about the Sonos ecosystem is that you do have a fantastic AirPlay 2 device where you can set it up in the Home app and be able to seamlessly play your music from any Apple device to that soundbar with just one tap, either in the control center or wherever you see the little AirPlay icon. Now that's still present here, you get that, I love that. But what else is new on the soundbar is that you actually get Bluetooth 5.3 support. So you just have another way of connecting other devices to your Arc Ultra, whether it be an Android device or any Bluetooth compatible device if you want to. As I mentioned before, there's also a new Sub 4. I never had the Sub 3, but apparently it looks a lot like the Sub 3. I had one of the earlier Sub models in my basement paired with that standard Arc, like I mentioned before. Still use it to this day. It's absolutely awesome, but that thing was a tank. It was very, very heavy, but it did have a ton of bass. The Sub 4 has this revamped design that kind of happened with the Sub 3, and to me, it's so much smaller and lighter, but it still doesn't impact the amount of bass. There might even be more here, honestly, with the whole sub and the soundbar added in together. The bass is insane. Now, I strongly recommend trying the Arc Ultra without the sub first, because for most situations, it might just be okay and you won't need it. But if you want to make your sound system just crazy, then add a sub and even a few Era 300s for that rear surround. That was actually my final testing setup here. I went with the soundbar first by itself, then the Sub 4 in the soundbar, and then the Ultra, 2 Era 300s, and the Sub 4. And it was way too much for my studio here. I think there are people that live above me in this building, and I probably made them incredibly upset or really jealous that they don't have this home theater setup. If you want to connect 2 Sub 4s for some reason, like you're just a low-end obsessed human being, you can bring down your house if you want to and add 2 Sub 4s. I didn't try that, but I'm just going to imagine it's pretty crazy. So at the end of the day, the Arc Ultra is a very, very good upgrade over the Arc, which is insane to me because the Arc was already really good. How many times have I said insane in this video? Anyways, it doesn't matter. Take my word for it. I'm trying to really not be super biased here because, again, I do like Sonos products, but I just didn't think that the Arc Ultra was going to be that much of a noticeable improvement over the standard Arc. But like I said, if you are already happy with the Arc, you probably don't need to go out and get the Arc Ultra. But if you're like, hey, I'm intrigued by this and I want to upgrade my main system here, and maybe you have room for an Arc somewhere else, then by all means, swap out that Arc, put that in a different room, use the Arc Ultra. It's going to be a very noticeable upgrade for you, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. But I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. If you've got one, then please, I want to know if you think I'm crazy. Am I hyping it up too much? Let me know down in those comments. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.